Hello and welcome back to the Oceania 7K World Cup 2023. I'm your, I think, solo commentator for this match, Sergio85 here. And we have a match on hand here. Very interesting one. Team Malaysia versus Team Spain. Team Spain obviously defeating Thailand back in the round of 16. And Malaysia hopefully... Oh my gosh, I forgot my bracket knowledge. I'll have to confirm which team they defeated in the previous round, but obviously Team Malaysia having and both teams having very famous names. You have Inchiwi and Aitor. Obviously their supporting cast of each of the teams also having very respectable reputations in the game. So I think we are almost ready for the match to start. Okay, so I just got confirmation. Malaysia defeated Argentina, which we saw last night. Yesterday perform against Thailand, with unfortunately got eliminated. So yeah, this is the other side of that matchup. And yes, this is a winners bracket match. And the winner of this match, if I'm not mistaken, will be facing the Philippines next weekend. The loser will only be relegated to the losers bracket. So we have our rolls here. We have Aitor rolling a 61 and Chiwi rolling a 53. So it does mean that Team Spain will be picking first in this match. So we'll be waiting for the bans now. So just for those who are watching Oceania matches for the first time, the mod icons you see there are not mods. They're not modifiers. These are map categories. So we have RC, meaning rice. These are charts that are maps that are primarily made out of regular notes. And we see Team Malaysia banning Rice 1, which is the speed pick of this pool. You see LNs. LN, the icon there. LN means long notes, or in mania terms, you actually call them noodles, as an analog to the rice term, as I mentioned earlier. And on the LNs, Spain banned LN2, which is a coordination pick, a pick very heavy in terms of like reliance on finger independence. And hybrids, on the other hand, are just practically a mix of rice and long notes, like more or less, like let's say 30 to 40%. Usually depends on how they're structured. Anyways, now as a primer on what both teams are strong at, Spain has like a reputable rice ability. Malaysia is known, as with most Southeast Asian nations in the 7K World Cup, to be more leaning towards the noodle side of the game, especially with history with O2 Jam and all of that stuff. Now let us wait for the first pick in this match, which will be done by Spain. Will be done by Spain. So while we're waiting for that, let's just remind everyone that the Oceania 7K World Cup team support banners are up on the OC store. So if you want to support any of the teams participating in this World Cup, feel free to purchase them. And now Team Spain will be picking Shuno Hazama as their first pick, Hybrid 1. Also, recognizing the presence of my co-commentator for this match, Salweska Els. Hello there, if you can talk.
Hello there. Wait, I didn't miss that much, right?
You didn't miss that much. I was just introducing, like, only the bans. Spain banning LN2, and then Malaysia banning Rice 1.
I see.
Which are kind of... wait, did I say Spain banning Rice 1 or Malaysia banning Rice 1? But regardless, I mean, it's kind of expected for both of these teams to ban those kinds of things.
Well, I would feel like Malaysia's the team to ban Rice 1 because Spain's really good at Rice. Like, judging the scores and the statistics, Spain's Rice was like not too far from Malaysia. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Spain even beat Malaysia on a map, which I think is Rice 3 or Rice 2, something like that. But yeah, they did beat Malaysia in one Rice map.
Any anyways, statistics from the previous match can only tell us so much. We'll have to see how they'll be performing this time around in the quarterfinals with the harder map pool as we enter the first map of the match, Juno Hazama.
Honestly, I'm not sure why Spain chose this. I mean, isn't this a hybrid with long notes? And I'm thinking Malaysia is one of the teams you expect to be really good at that, and oh, not PX with a very early miss. But luckily, that's not gonna affect too much.
Well, I guess this is probably just Spain trying to, as I mentioned, that double miss from both of these players. But yeah, I was about to mention that hybrid, usually at least hybrid one, given how like the movements here are practically what you expect from a dense scored stream pick. It might be just Spain trying to gauge how they'll be dealing with Malaysia's long notes at least. Or maybe if they could see if they could do something about the Rice as well. At least if they could keep up. I mean, you do see the score caps are still pretty small, despite despite the double miss earlier.
That's true, but remember the last match that we commentated where they had Law School? Look at Chibi right now, 99.9 on a map like this.
Yep, it's Chiwi v Chiwi. He's decent at the game. Yeah, very decent. But anyways, any just hovering around 99.1, Aitor and not PX doing basically like 99.6, 99.5, faring very well, and Aitor missing though. Unfortunate for Aitor, it's Malaysia now trying to pull ahead with their plays, still holding both still holding on to full combo, and obviously Chiwi having a very massive act as not PX also dropping their pretty sizable combo, and that will allow Malaysia to gain a bit more breathing room.
When it comes to the accuracy, Spain has the better average, and oh, any missing, but not PX is gonna trade it back. You've been saying a lot.
Favor the team in the lead.
Yeah, there we go. That's the line that I was thinking of. The thing is, if you were to get the average axe, I think Spain naturally has a slight advantage. But it's those misses that's giving Malaysia the edge that they have right now.
Which is kind of unfortunate for Spain's side, but again, this is still early on in the match as Aitor gets yet another miss. This is still super early in the match. This is still the first map. Maybe trying to get some of the nerves out, but you don't really want to open a match at a break point though. As not PX dropping his combo or their combo on these long notes.
As of this moment, yes, Aitor is now in the combo cap, but hey, this lead isn't an impossible one to come back from, but it is not like, it's not a 3v3, so you'll have lesser chances of people missing here. And considering that we've known Chibi to be really consistent at these kinds of patterns for how many years already, I'm not surprised that the lead would probably not change at all.
And he is also known to be more of a combo player, not really that much on the act, but I mean, carrying 99% is still super respectable as not PX getting yet another drop in this section, in that transitional section. And now here's the part where we'll be starting to see more of the LN chords things transitioning into two-handed trills, which are not exactly the most fun pattern to hit if they're long notes.
Yeah, and I think that should do it. Malaysia's gonna take the first point. I'm pretty sure Spain would not want to start the match this way. But hey, on the bright side, when it comes to the accuracy, that's 81-200s on the side of Malaysia. And for Spain, only 77. I mean, that's not too big of a difference. Oh wait, no, 67 actually. If you think about it, it seems like Spain actually has a minor act advantage in comparison to Malaysia, but those combos are really hurting Spain's chances.
Yeah, and they don't really want to commit those kinds of mistakes, but again, that was still the first map. There's still a lot of opportunity to gain points. But again, you don't really want to like start with the wrong foot forward. Anyways, now let's see what Malaysia is going to be picking. Might be expecting any of the long note picks as their opener.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of hope for I really hope that Malaysia picks LN because I think it's gonna benefit them, and like I'm not sure if Spain is known to be good at LNs, but I'm pretty sure seeding sixth, if I'm not mistaken, sixth, right?
Yep.
Seeding sixth
Yeah, I hope my
definitely
numbers are right.
guarantees that they're pretty good at long notes as well.
Yeah, Spain should be fine overall. It's a matter of whether they could just get things running on their end. Obviously, Malaysia will be having the upper hand since LNs are kind of important, and there you go, LN3 as their opener, as their as their opening pick for the side, the second map of this match. Dive with you, arguably the most popular pick in this round.
I was like, thinking, Malaysia should pick, any of the LNs, especially if any is comfortable with it.
We'll see how any will perform. It does seem like they will be staying in this match as we see a substitution. Forgot the name of the other person. We are seeing Crew K Fanboy subbing in for. I forgot the name.
It's not PX, sir.
Yeah, not PX. My memory is failing me right now, boy. Everyone.
Alright, but like, here's the question. If Malaysia's gonna keep it up with Chiwi and Eni, I think Nyokje has to come in at some point, but probably on the more physical end of things, because I'm pretty sure Nyokje's accuracy is something that Malaysia wants to avoid, and I think they're very aware of that.
Well, if their strategy works, I mean, there's not really much reason to not stick with it. But anyways, here we go with Dive with You, the second map of this match. If there's any players we need to observe right now, it's both Kiwi and Aitor at the upper half of the screens. If you want to see some very notable scores, this might be another one of those matches where the second player will be making most of the difference. We'll have to see though.
That's true. Wait, I think I know why Chiwi is. I think I know why Nyokje's not here. I think Nyokje's actually on vacation to Japan right now, so that's why Annie's been playing all of these maps. But is it even a problem? I don't think so.
I mean, Annie is holding on very well, but Spain is starting to pull that lead to their side, however. Like overall, Spain has practically the better accuracy between these two teams as it stands. And there you go, the lead is starting to get to Spain's side just a tad bit. But Malaysia obviously is still within striking distance, and the second half of the start is way more rougher, way more denser than the first half. Patterns are still relatively comfortable, but here we go. Some interlaced rice notes in this stream, and Kruke Fanboy getting consecutive drops. That gives Malaysia quite a sizable lead now.
Now those misses from Kuke Fanboy are really hurting Spain's chances. I mean, look at the accuracy right now. Kuke Fanboy is a little bit behind from Eni, and Aitor is also a little bit behind from Chiwi. Those LN density sections are certainly not helping Spain at the moment, as it's increasing the accuracy gap that Malaysia is eventually going to be having.
And UK Fanboy really struggling with these long notes, and as we are about to end this chart, Malaysia will be picking up their second point.
And yeah, I mean, that was a pretty comfortable point if you ask me. Like,
Yeah, only
two
five.
FCs.
Yeah, look. Yep.
Oh
But
my
then
God.
look at Kiwi's and Aitor scores.
Look, this isn't the 4K.
Especially Kiwi's.
This isn't a
Especially
4K map,
Kiwi.
everyone. This isn't a 4K map, everyone. You can't do this. Oh my goodness.
We are reminding everyone that this is the Osamania 7K World Cup, not the 4K World Cup. The 4K World Cup won't be happening until much later in the year.
Yep, that's true.
Anyways, now it's Spain's turn to pick. So, I guess this might be the time where they start like just leaning more towards on the Rice lately because the other two hybrid picks aren't exactly the friendliest if you're not that comfortable playing with long notes. And you did mention that Spain has a relatively strong Rice performance. And there you go, for no reason will be picked.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see what Spain chooses. I think Spain should pick something like Milan. Oh, it looks like they're going for no
Hey, they
reason
go.
instead.
They went for no reason, as I mentioned earlier. I mean, like, there's not really much of a reason to pick Milan just yet. Like, I think it's that one pick that you might want to delay as much as possible, considering how uncomfortable it is. And obviously, that's technical picks, and that's basically technical picks. You usually don't really pick them if you're not that confident. I guess this is more of Spain just trying to go through their program pretty much.
That is true. I mean, Rice is really the way to go for Spain. Like, I've been saying this for a while, but I really think, have the best chance. Like, they have a better chance of winning on Malaysia on the more awkward Rice picks rather than on the long note picks. And oh, looks like Z1 is gonna come here. I'm sorry if I butchered the name pronunciation.
Z1 is going in for. Wow, well, the second player just left, but I already forgot the name. Oh my gosh, what the heck is with my memory right now?
Okay, you forgot any? You really forgot any?
Yeah, I forgot. Oh my god.
Wait,
Yeah,
okay,
my memory is fading.
I really hope Spain, but like that being said, I really hope Spain chose the right Rice. But I'm sure that considering that they probably know what their opponent's good at or not, there's definitely no way they're picking this just for no reason, right?
Yeah, there's not really much reason to pick this if they're not ready. That's kind of obvious. Also, I know you were trying to say that just to make a pun out of the title, but anyways, here we go with the third map in this match. And
Yeah.
I do say though, like this won't be like LN3. Like LN3 does lean towards your core team ability, but at least like given that this is Rice, Spain has a bit more of a leeway to start maintaining that accuracy throughout the entire chart. As we do see, Malaysia is kind of keeping up with accuracies. We see though Yuan getting a few 300s, maybe a 200 even. So, but Aitor kind of dropping their accuracies as well. So the scores are flickering, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Kiwi getting a 99.9 just for no reason.
Yeah, this is what? This is 166. This is probably like 166 jump stream to him, am I right? But this isn't.
Yeah.
This isn't 4K. This is 7K. So I guess the best way to say it is 166 BPM chord stream, or something like that. But here's the thing. It looks like Spain is doing a little bit better than the second player overall, like both of them. But Chiwi, the gap between Chiwi and everyone else, that's been giving it really. And now that the patterns are getting slightly denser, Z1 Zach is getting a little bit lower, but Aitor and K Fanboy have been consistent despite the difficulty of these patterns.
But the score is still flickering between these two sides. It does appear that Malaysia is kind of maintaining that just a tad bit more over Spain, but Spain really trying to pull that lead on their side.
Oh man, Aitor has
these score seams are getting a bit more denser.
It looks like Malaysia actually has a little bit of the lead. Wait a minute, never mind!
Dropping.
Wait, that's two drops!
That's brutal.
That is so unfortunate! Brutal. And now that the map is not gonna get dense at all, looks like Spain's gonna secure this point.
Unless we see a massive breakdown, which I don't think is going to happen. And there you go. Spain getting their first point on the board. Only two 200s from Aitor and Chiwi getting 169 misses.
Oh
yeah,
my
that's a
god.
V1SS.
Yeah, of course. But like, Crookie Fanboy isn't even too bad from that. Too far from that either. That just goes to show how well balanced Spain could be in Rice. Oh wait a minute, what Mage of Violin? I think that's LN4, right?
Yeah, that's LN4. I mean, it's a good pick to have. Immediately for Malaysia, like get the like get the momentum back on their side immediately. Like Mage of Violet isn't the most straightforward LN pick as well. So they want to get that. They want to abuse some stuff on Spain's side so that they get their third point on the board immediately. And he will be going back in for this pick from taking over from Yuan.
Something tells me that um Spain chose Rain Shower first to like kind of run out Malaysia of some probably comfortable picks. They're probably just waiting for a time to strike back with a break point, in my opinion.
That does make sense now that you mentioned it. I mean, you did mention Neo probably should have been the other person playing partnering Kiwi, and maybe that would have made the match a bit more straightforward. Like, obviously, obviously everyone would think Kiwi would be performing, and we are already seeing that. For Spain, like their two players are holding up very well. It's really the second. It's really most of a battle between the second players if they are managed to keep up that consistency. And we already saw some crack at it on Yuan, but Malaysia was super close in getting that point. Anyways, here we go. LN4, we have Mage of Violet.
Here we go. Mage of Violet is, well, like what you said, this is one of the more awkward LNs. Though when I think of awkward LN maps, I would actually even argue that Hybrid 2 is one that Malaysia could go for, considering the structure that it has. But for now, we'll be going for Mage of Violet.
Well, Malaysia is having the initial advantage here. Though look at Any's accuracy already at 99. Ooh, okay. They dropped their combo, meaning that they drop below 99% as well. Giving Spain the lead immediately. And what Spain needs to do here really is to make sure that they are able to keep consistent with these charts. And this is considerably harder than rice picks for them practically. But looking at how they've been performing, they're actually holding on very well. Any having better accuracy over Crooked Fanboy, and they already have sizable Crooked Fanboy dropping their combo, so that gives the lead back to Malaysia.
Yeah, that's bad news because now Crooked Fanboy's accuracy is lower than Any's, which means that the break right now actually matters so much more than what happened to Any. Though luckily, the lead isn't actually too big. In fact, I think it's kind of getting a little bit lower. So we'll have to see because, I don't know, this lead is really not safe by any means. Because right now, Any is continuing to drop some more accuracy. Crooked Fanboy actually overtakes Any now. So this could go back to Spain if Malaysia is not careful, but never mind!
Ooh, Crooked Fanboy dropping! So,
Wait a second.
and Any will be trading. So, and and like the drop is relatively the same in terms of cleanliness for both. Like they're super similar right now.
Something tells me that miss from Any actually matters more than the one that Crooked Fanboy had. Because it seems like the player that has much better ability in raising that act could be Crooked Fanboy. But Any is certainly no joke as well. But time is kind of running out. There are still some hard sections, and there we go, another break for Crooked Fanboy. That's really, really bad news for Spain, and that's absolutely not what they want. Alright, here we go. This is the last section. Still some dense parts. They could hope for Malaysia to make any drops, but Crooked Fanboy is the one to concede.
Spain is the one. Crooked Fanboy kind of struggling really maintaining the combo. Aitor and Kiwi still holding on to their full combos until the very end, and Malaysia will be defending their pick, getting the third point in this match.
Oh wow!
Look at
The 200
the
counts
ratio
are
different.
The 200 counts are so similar.
Yeah, they're so similar.
But look at that ratio with Chiwi. What?
Yeah, the ratio difference between Kiwi and Aitor is. Yeah, I mean, both are cracked in this game, so there's that. But
I'm
anyways,
just shocked that
but the more but the more important thing we have to note here, it's really the second players if they could get their consistent, if they're a bit who's more consistent between these two, and any has shown that they can hold on very well.
So now they're down 3-1. Spain absolutely cannot lose one of the rice picks. And let's take away for Aratanaru Ketsui. I mean, anything rice really is a good pick for Spain in my opinion. But if you want to delve into those elements and hybrids, even though you know that you potentially have a weakness of those, I think that's when it starts to get really bad.
I have to see though if that's going to happen. Now, this chart is the lighter chord stream pick here, and we saw Spain performing very well in the denser chord streams. But then like the main difference really is that this is a different kind of chord stream. So I'm not sure if like the choking potential will be different as well. But obviously, like with the amount of notes, or at least the patterning here, you kind of have to be super careful. You have to be super careful to not commit any mistakes still. Again, we saw Malaysia almost grabbing that point on for no reason just earlier. Spain, and it was just a choke at the end, giving Spain the point. Anyways, here we go.
You know, you did say this is lighter chord stream. I do think plays like that could favor Spain because if I were to pick a team that may have a higher ceiling when it comes to physicality, I think Malaysia has that on a slighter margin. And now that this is potentially a little bit less dense, I do think Spain could use that to their advantage, and it seems like they really do know what they're choosing. But never mind.
a super rough start.
That's a rough
that's
start
not the
indeed.
start you really want. Especially
true,
with a chart this short. This is only 2 minutes.
I mean, again, luckily that was very, very early on. Z's AC is not too high, but so is Aitor's actually. In fact, it's lower than Z's. Never mind, actually, because Z1 starts to drop some 200s.
Aitor and PX are carrying pretty similar accuracies as Kiwi is being Kiwi right now, still getting that mid 99.9. Z1, like it's practically the combo that's the full combos Malaysia has been holding since the very start of this chart. Giving them an advantage, and does appear that the accuracy as well. Like Malaysia has better accuracy in this pick overall.
What is going on with Chibi's act right now? This
is not 4K. What are you doing?
I mean, I get that this is light chord stream, but what in the world is this? Wait, this is 999k territory right now. 99.97 is around that.
Yeah, this is 999k territory. What?
I mean, look.
Let's try to not give much attention to that right now.
Because I noticed something. Look at Aitor and not PX's act.
They're both at 9.6.
Yes, it's higher than Z1's. So this isn't impossible. But look at how high the difference in Chibi is to everyone. But the thing is, it's not over yet. Well, never mind. Because not PX finding a drop. That is very unfortunate. The act lead, I think, is only because of Chibi's 99.92. But Aitor and not PX are not doing a bad job at all. They're just having clean misses here and there. But Malaysia securing the double full combo is the reason why they're winning this. By only a little bit.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Wow, that wasn't even a V1 double S?
And it's 99.92. Alright, everyone.
Yeah.
But other than that, Spain actually wins the 200 count battle.
Yeah.
Like, if not PX did not miss, this would have
had a different story.
Actually, no. I think Malaysia still wins this. This would have only been an increase of like 10k, and I don't think that was
okay.
enough.
Yeah, I get you.
That wouldn't have been enough.
I get you. Yeah, even probably even if Spain have like V1 double S's on both of them, like if you won, let's say more or less like had the better 200 count as well, and yeah, Malaysia would have still gotten it.
Yeah, but like it would have been like only it would have only been a
Yeah.
three-digit difference. That's the thing.
Yeah, that would be super close. It would have been super
That's
close, but
Now, I don't know. If I were Malaysia, I would pick hybrid too. At this point, you're up 4-1, right? So I do think the best way to go for it is to take a risk. Because if you
yeah,
take
remorse.
a risk, yeah, I think remorse is the way to go. Because if you take a risk now, and you're
No
up
remorse
5-1,
later.
exactly. Yeah, no remorse later. Yeah, that's the best way to put it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but for real though. For real. If you were to take a risk now and win that pick, that would be huge because you still have one LN pick later. Oh, it looks like they're going for the hybrid. Still taking a risk. I like this selection actually.
Oh, going for hybrid 3, which I'd say is like one of the actually it's a pretty decent hybrid to transition to out of like the three. Like Remorse is a bit more on the wackier side, as I mentioned so many times in the previous matches. So this is a bit more straightforward. They can take advantage of that, like get their combos up. Obviously, Chewy being Chewy, Annie being pretty holding on very well. So I guess Malaysia is already probably should have already noticed that Spain's second player problem right now, because obviously they will be expecting Aitor to perform. But we'll have to see though. Spain could probably manage to mount a comeback, but they have to start doing it now.
Yeah, I mean, this is really concerning for Spain, I think. But hey, they've been playing really well on the X side. In fact, overall, when it comes to the accuracy, I actually think Spain has the edge by a very little bit. But it's the consistency that Malaysia has that's been giving them really the shots that they need.
Now let's see what's going to be happening in this pick. This is a bit more reliant towards your stair ability, so like I guess this might be more similar to Arataneru Ketsui, but I'll be like a bit more faster. Obviously, there's long notes. I mean, it's kind of a given. And does appear that Spain does have some slight advantages. We see the Scorgas favor, the Flickers favor Spain just a tad bit more, but Malaysia managing to pull that lead to their side, but it's super small, super dangerous. All players still holding on to their full combos. Never mind.
Oh man, Annie dropping is pretty big. Surprisingly, Kuruke Fanboy is holding that consistency. But that's absolutely what Spain has to do. Ignore the act a little bit.
Hold on. They have to hold on.
Exactly. And right now, that's what Spain's doing. Looks like this is what they were going for from Shuno Hazama after all. I feel like that's what they were trying to do.
Like, again, you have to be confident if you're going to be picking hybrids against a team that's super proficient in long notes. Because this kind of works as like another kind of long note pick for some people, and we see Kuruke Fanboy unfortunately getting a drop on that Trilly transition. Ooh, get a double drop. Oh, Aitor.
That was a tragic drop. But hey, Annie dropped. But it looks like the drop that Annie had was a little bit more effective. Like, I saw a bigger drop when Annie missed. So that's kind of concerning for Malaysia. But here we go. They must hold on. A single miss from Annie should give it away. Oh my goodness, that Ak is dropping really, really fast. So there's still a chance.
There's still a chance, but Kuruke Fanboy getting a drop right there that is not going to help their cause. Malaysia really, really trying to get that lead as big as they could.
It's true, but this part is really difficult to coordinate. And even then, these consistencies from Malaysia is the reason why they're having
Kuruke Fanboy get more problems in on that pattern.
I think that seals the deal. Unfortunately, Malaysia. Oh wait,
Chiwi dropping their full combo.
Is that the
but
first
that won't
time?
be enough.
Is that the first time they drop? I guess Chiwi's human after all.
Those are Ellen drops.
Well, I guess zero misses still for Chiwi. Well, zero misses still for Chiwi. I mean, it doesn't matter. They still have the advantage. Like at the end of the day, even though you kind of missed there, if you win the point, it doesn't really matter. because Malaysia is now up 5-1. Spain is sort of in a corner right now. Yes, there are still a lot of rice picks open, but Malaysia still has one LN and one hybrid to capitalize on.
Well, now it's really a matter of could Spain get their consistency back up and start mounting a comeback. Like they have to start they have to start from this point on, like one map at a time. But obviously it will be getting harder and harder from here.
Oh man.
What are
But
they?
hey,
Ooh, are they? Oh, they're picking Milan.
okay, I think
Oh,
this is an
that's. I don't know if this is a good pick. I mean, technically, I guess technically from what I've been observing, Spain has been performing very well on rice. And yeah, that's fine. But like, this is super easy to miss on.
okay, but like at the end of the day, what other choice do we have, right? I think Spain is trying to attack that accuracy factor. And definitely when it comes to that, Spain has the clear advantage when it comes to having a better balance when it comes to accuracy. So I really think this could go well for Spain, but it's a double-edged sword in a sense.
Yeah, it is. Though, if they were gunning for accuracy, there would have been like what? The Horjack pick would have been available for them as well. If they're
But no.
targeting accuracy.
Okay, here's the thing. I get that Spain has been choking a lot, but isn't that what I feel like that's what they're trying to go for? The fact that they choke a lot, yes. But here's another thing. The accuracy is really going to place a big factor in here as well. So I think what Spain's trying to do is, yeah, we choke a lot, but we're trying to find something that even if we choke on, we'll still have a good shot on having better accuracy. That's, I think, is what's going on here.
Well, we'll have to see if that theory holds on. Does look likely though. Anyways, this is Spain trying to get everything down, like trying to start mounting a comeback in this match.
Well, we'll have to find out. I mean, we did see. I think it was US that lost it to China. But yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because of Alter sight reading it. And judging from the chat, I don't think anyone was sight reading this at all.
I mean, sight reading this is a massive mistake to commit, given how like irregular this is, and any getting massive accuracy drops gives Spain some of that well-needed advantage.
That's what I was talking
Still
about.
super early. Still super
That's
early
what
though.
I mean, that's true, but like this is what I was talking about. These accuracy drops are gonna matter so much. And now that Any is behind everyone else, it's giving Spain the advantage that they badly need. But these patterns, the technicality aspect of this...
Any is starting to build up that accuracy though. It might have been just a blip. There you go. Malaysia showing some signs of them pulling that lead to their end, but Spain doing is still just enough. Ooh, a 200 from Kuki Fanboy. Not going to help their cause. And a drop. Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, that drop is unfortunately gonna give Malaysia a shot. I would have thought Annie's act would have been a lot lower, but Kuki Fanboy with a double miss, unfortunately, is not gonna help Spain. I mean, I can't really blame them though. This is such a difficult map to just play properly.
Yeah, the patterns here are super spread out. Like, you have some of these mini jacks as well, not easy to transition off forward, going into some streams as we saw Aitor getting a drop, unfortunate for them. In Malaysia, now just pulling that lead. Also, Chiwi, what the heck are you doing?
Oh man, Annie drops, but unfortunately it's a little bit too late. I think this is a 992 from Chiwi. Well, yeah, it is. Unfortunately, Annie dropped, but it was a little bit too late. 1x to 1 Milan? Okay, I'm done.
What?
I'm done.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, so
Congrats
you're
to
telling
Malaysia for winning this match.
man, that's insane. I get that the score was 6-1, but like Spain still did really good. I mean, what can you do? This team, Malaysia has been very, very consistent on all these 7K MWCs. So considering for what they were up against, I really think Spain did great.
They definitely did perform very well, but unfortunately, we'll have to see them next week in the losers bracket. And
That's true.
congratulations for Team Malaysia for advancing to the winners bracket semifinals, where they are set up to have a very spicy matchup. And I think
Oh,
it's a matchup a lot of people would expect already, coming from even during round of 16, like when the brackets are initially revealed. But we'll talk about that when the time comes.
yeah, that's true.
Well,
I mean,
anyway, we have one more match left in the quarterfinals. We have Korea and Brazil, which will be happening in more or less 3 hours from now, around 15 UTC. Anything else you'd like to say, Emily?
I mean, yeah, once again, these teams have been really performing well. It's just nice to see that Spain was able to have their shot and they just really performed how they were supposed to do. But hey, I also wanted to say this. If you want to show more support to your team, please don't forget to just, buy the banner for your country, right? Don't ever forget
Yup.
it. Like, if you want to show more support to your team, don't be afraid to buy those banners. Like there's gonna be a huge banner that's just gonna show up at the top of your profile, and and the money that will be used will go to the for the prize pool. Am I right? But yeah,
Yup.
I guess that's all I have to say. Do you have anything else to add?
Well, I have nothing else to add. So this is Sir 285 and Silwaska Els for the Osmania 7K World Cup 2023. We'll see you guys later.